5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision for Week That Was, where we cover the news and events for the week ending Friday, February 28th, 2025. I'm Aaron Taylor. Thank you for joining us. Well, this week was the 138th birthday of Troy University. The celebration, which included T-Roy and the new Miss Troy University, was held at lunchtime in the Trojan Dining Hall. Ty Davidson reports from the celebration location.
Troy University was founded on February 26, 1887, and 138 years later, in a packed dining hall for Fried Chicken Wednesday, the university celebrated how far it has come and how much it has grown.
This week is actually Troy Spirit Week, so SGA and Freshman Forum actually initiated just a week of celebrating how much we love the school we go to, and so of course we have several birthday cakes made by one of our local bakers just to kind of celebrate that birthday and of course eat the cake too.
The celebration also consisted of a photo area that allowed students entering the dining hall to take pictures with T-Roy, as well as this year's Miss Troy University, Grace Shellhouse. The two of them then walked through the entire balloon-decorated dining hall, interacting and taking pictures with any student that wanted to give Troy a happy birthday. Shellhouse and Williamson both believe that throwing a celebration like this is an easy decision when it comes to the school that they love.
This is such a fantastic university, and it's so fun to be a part of such a big Trojan family, so why not celebrate it?
I am a huge birthday lover, and I think just celebrating the school that we love and has given so much to us just makes perfect sense.
Williamson also says that she hopes all of Troy's students can grow as fond of it as she has, as it has meant so much to her life both personally and professionally, and she believes others can find the same meaning from it.
Troy means so much to me. I'm a 3-time graduate of Troy, just wanted to be able to continue to serve the students. So every day is fun, and I just love Troy so much because of the students and the community that it's given me.
Well, for me, I'm the 11th person in my family to attend Troy, so for me, Troy is a big legacy. I'm so grateful for this university, and here's to another 138 years educating the mind to think, the heart to feel, and the body to act.
And as we just heard, this week the Student Government Association is working to spread Trojan pride just in time for Troy's 138th birthday. Sarah Campbell has more about this year's first ever Trojan Spirit Week and how it gives back to the community.
Service, diversity, leadership. These are some of the values that Troy University stands for. As a way to highlight these values and spread Trojan spirit, the Student Government Association enacted a new tradition, Trojan Spirit Week.
We implemented this year as a way to spread Trojan pride in our new catchphrase or slogan, One Heart, One Troy.
The overall message of this year's Spirit Week is caring for the community. SGA is fulfilling this promise with a donation drive.
This year we want to really implement a service project in that tradition, not only for the students, but as a way for us to give back to the community that really pours into us.
All donations will go to support local schools, helping those who may not be able to meet those basic needs themselves.
A lot of the schools in this city have very high poverty rates. This is just one small way to give back to them.
The drive calls for hygiene items such as deodorant, toothbrushes, and toothpaste, as well as school supplies such as pencils and paper. A full list of requested items can be found on the Trojan Spirit Week website.
These donations are a way to give them the needs and allow them to be met so that they can succeed and focus on their academics and continue to pursue their dreams.
Brothers says she is proud to represent Troy by helping those who need it most. It's what Spirit Week is all about.
I have a very big passion for loving people well, and I think that when students see that somebody cares about them and that they have people fighting for them, they feel like they can accomplish anything that they desire.
On the Thursday of Spirit Week, SGA will hold a packing party for students to help bag donated items. Those items will be delivered to local schools the following day. Sarah Campbell, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A group of Troy University students were among the hundreds who converged on the State House in Montgomery in support of higher education. Caden Walker has more from the Higher Education Day rally in the capital city.
Early Thursday morning, the Troy University Student Government Association, Freshman Forum, as well as T-Roy loaded buses and departed towards the state capitol for Higher Ed Day. They would meet with hundreds of other student leaders from public universities throughout the state. The event hosts say that their goal for this event was to allow Alabama lawmakers to see firsthand who they were providing funds for.
You are the seed that we're planting today that is going to grow and make Alabama the best state in the United States. Thank you.
And of course, the event would not have been complete without a parade, as the Alabama State University Marching Band leads hundreds of student leaders around the downtown area of Montgomery, Alabama, as they push for the funding of higher education. We spoke to Jaden McQueen, Miss Trojan Pride, about her experience today.
So much fun with a lot of, fellowship, and we ride a bus to Montgomery, and then we eat food after, but also just that professional development of actually advocating for public funding for public universities.
It's been such an honor, especially being here with all other public universities in the state of Alabama. We just love supporting our higher education and, advocating for more funding for our universities. We have been able to grow so much through our college experiences, and we just want to be able to continue that for other students as well.
From the state capitol, Caden Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
High school seniors trying to decide where they're going to go to college got some financial help this week. They had the chance to apply without having to pay a dime. Jameson Fowler lets us know about Free Application Week in Alabama.
February 22nd through the 28th is Free Application Week for colleges in Alabama. The week gives prospective college students a chance to apply for schools free of charge.
It's a group effort among most of the colleges and universities in the state of Alabama. Gives students the opportunity to apply to college for free. This week we know that the application fee can be a barrier of entry for some students, so just a week to get that barrier out of the way. It's definitely taken advantage of by students from all walks of life. Some students even wait specifically for that week to apply to the schools that they're interested in.
McKenzie says that the simple act of applying to the school allows a prospective student the chance to learn more about what options are available to them.
It definitely helps us open the windows for a lot of students. They don't know that they may be scholarship eligible or eligible for the Pell Grant, and you never find that out if you don't apply and get your information to us. So helps us get those folks in the door.
Anyone who wants to take advantage of the Free Application Week will need to visit Troy's website.
Yeah, so for Troy, they need to go online, troy.edu/apply. When they get to the end of their application, there's a promo code. It's all caps ALCAC25. They can plug that into the application this week, and that will waive that fee for them.
McKenzie adds that a student who applies to Troy this week is not locked into coming to Troy, but if they apply, they might discover it's the right fit for them.
Especially since it's free just this week, right? We're not extending it on, so if you have any interest at all, it definitely doesn't hurt you to go ahead and get that application in there so that we can get the information that we need, and whether you decide to pursue anything after that or not is up to the student, but if you're interested at all, it's definitely worth applying. We know students on average apply to about 8 schools in their process, so we know that students are applying to lots of different options and finding out the best fit for them, whether it's the program they want to study or financially or just the feel of campus. So we know that students are trying to find out what they like, and we think that they're going to love Troy, so we want them to get us in that fold as well.
Jameson Fowler, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Students gathered on campus at a location named for a civil rights icon to celebrate Black History Month by taking part in a unity walk on the main quad. Reporter Will Eldridge has the story.
Behind me, Troy University students have gathered in front of John Robert Lewis Hall to celebrate Black History Month with the annual unity walk here on Troy campus.
So this is our second annual event celebrating unity. It's a unity march celebrating Black History Month and honoring unity and how far we've come.
Leading up to the march, event-goers heard remarks from the members of Delta Sigma Theta, a letter on behalf of Chancellor Hawkins, and a speech given by SGA President Betsy Bennett.
Together we are Troy, and together we can build a campus community where every student feels valued, heard, and connected.
The Unity Walk is more than just an annual event. Turner says it's a significant moment of unity for the Troy community.
And now that we can be unified, I think that's the significance of it all, just being able to come together no matter what race, what color. We just want to keep building on top. So maybe we'll walk with the mayor, or maybe we can get other people to come and to continue to make it bigger, a bigger impact and a bigger effect.
This event doesn't just stand as a reminder for those who marched in the past, but also a motivator to take action for what you believe in. Will Eldridge, Troy, TrojanVision News.
On Wednesday, Pike County first responders had a fun way to connect with the community while also having some competition between each other. Hunter Boozer has the story.
Troy University hosted the second annual Battle of the Badges Chili Cook-Off in the Trojan Center. This event gave first responders from across Pike County a way to connect with each other in a friendly and competitive setting.
We all work together as a community and we go to the same calls together. A lot of us are on the same radio channel. We actually hear each other speak during the day. So to get together and actually have a friendly competition, you would say, it helps in morale and just helps meet the community.
The cook-off was open to all, and it gave Troy students and faculty as well as people from across the county a way to engage with the first responders while also having the opportunity to taste test some chili.
It's a great opportunity for first responders to get together, get to know each other, get on a personal level other than just, call to call. It's also a good opportunity for us to have student engagement and faculty engagement and staff engagement. So we're over here where, there's a lot of folks coming through, heavy foot traffic. So we try and wrangle them in and get them to come into the room and taste the chili. And this gives us an opportunity to meet with some folks that we may not know.
Now that the first responders have spiced up the competition, they hope that everyone who attended has more awareness on who is behind the badge and on the scene. Hunter Boozer, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The final days of slavery in Georgia were the topic of discussion in the Troy Library this week as a visiting professor visited to talk about his research on the subject. Neela Cole reports.
Albany State University history professor Dr. Joshua Butler discussed his research and content of his newest book. The book focuses on Southwest Georgia during the final years of enslavement, the Civil War, and Reconstruction.
What I wanted to do was really show that what happens before this defines what happens, but it's always a continuation. When you are competing against these things, and both sides are going to think that they're right. So it's really hard to say that there's a right versus a wrong. But if we look at the implications and the people involved and what they do, we can understand their motives and try to put our definitions on society.
Throughout his lecture, Butler examined the changing power dynamic during these three pivotal times in Southern history. Students were then given the chance to ask questions and share pivotal perspectives on the topics.
I was not expecting the answers that I got to some of my questions that I had asked during the interview, but I mostly was just interested in to see the author's perspectives on a lot of things and what he was really aiming to do with this book that he's writing.
Butler ended the lecture by expressing the importance of sharing the truth about history regardless of when there is someone that is going to disagree.
What we need to move beyond is, again, where people learn and how they learn and how they harness their belief system. And the hope is, again, that we do that in a classroom setting with guidance from people who have more knowledge than us, but we have to take part of the responsibility that lifelong learning means learning outside the classroom.
Butler also used pictures to demonstrate his references throughout his lecture, giving students a visual aid when putting history together. Neela Cole, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The topic of tariffs has been thrust into the spotlight recently, and there's been some uncertainty over what they can actually do for the country. Simon Brown talked to some members of the Pike County community to get their thoughts.
Donald Trump has wasted no time enforcing his agenda during his second term as president. While President Trump's recent cabinet appointees have been subject to criticism, many are concerned over his executive orders and comments involving tariffs. To learn how tariffs could impact the United States, we spoke to economics professor Dr. John Dove.
Again, tariff is a tax on imports, the goods and services that you and I buy from abroad. It makes them more expensive, which means that as consumers, we have less disposable income available to us, right? And it leaves us relatively poorer, again, as consumers. It also tends to reduce the amount of consumer goods and services that are available within a country or within an economy, simply because many of those goods become too expensive and we can't even necessarily produce those domestically.
On February 1st, President Trump implemented a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico. We spoke to freshman multimedia journalism major Jackson Cates to learn how he feels about the United States placing tariffs on its closest allies.
I feel like we should be sticking with people that are close to us, that are going to be there for us. So I feel like with other countries that we know aren't going to be there for us if we need them, cutting ties with them may be a good thing.
While placing tariffs on Canada and Mexico, President Trump also placed a 10% tariff on Chinese imports. Cates also shared his thoughts on President Trump tariffing one of America's toughest adversaries.
I think it's 50-50. I think if we're talking governments, yes, but if we're talking people, no. I think that there is a potential for, like, maybe one day China and America come to a consensus that we're both superpowers and we can probably work together to bring the world up.
President Trump has also teased imposing tariffs on the auto industry as early as April 2nd. We spoke to Dylan Rushing, an employee at Jim Whaley Tires, to learn how business might be impacted by these tariffs.
You know, not even just here at Jim Whaley, but over the board, we're going to see an increase in part prices with those tariffs. So that would definitely impact, you know, with the imports and exports being raised. You know, when they get charged more, they charge us more, which in turn has to charge the customer more to keep up with demand.
Despite the impending tariffs, Rushing is confident that Jim Whaley will put customers first. Simon Brown, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's contemporary music ensemble Populous held a concert on Tuesday at the Johnson Center for the Arts Studio. The band played a mix of original songs and covers across multiple genres. Ty Davidson has the sights and sounds.
Whether it's rock and roll, hip-hop, country, or pop, Troy's contemporary music group Populous can and will put on a performance, even encouraging audience participation in moments of this Tuesday's show at the JCA studio, which was one filled with variety thanks to the vast pool of musical interests within the group.
It's a little bit different for every concert. For this particular one, we actually put out a form, and we had members of the group submit what songs that they'd like to sing. We had a lot of original songs tonight.
Of course, selecting the songs was only the first step of a surprisingly short preparation and rehearsal period, which the performers say would be much more stressful if it weren't for the connections they built with each other.
We have rehearsal twice a week for about an hour and a half, and we kind of forced all this together. A lot of the originals that you heard tonight were things that they've done together for weeks, months, years.
We end up doing like back-to-back shows like 2 weeks out, so we only have like 4 rehearsals to get songs together, so we end up, you know, kind of rushing, but high chemistry. We've got high energy, so I think we end up really pulling it out in the end.
Despite this seemingly constant time constraint, Jordan says that being in Populous is an experience that he is extremely grateful to be a part of, and Gwen hopes that the students involved grow to be the next generation of great musicians.
I was back there tonight taking little videos of clips and sending it to people in the industry that I know, like, hey, this is somebody that, you know, could come work with you, come play in your band.
We're kind of the outliers. We're music industry. Every other, you know, ensemble within the music program is really classical based, and so we're the first band to be popular music based, and it's so fun to be able to just kind of express ourselves in ways that don't always get to see from Troy University, so I'm glad that we get to be that catalyst.
Ty Davidson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Saturday night, the International Student Cultural Organization held an event meant to bring together students of many nationalities. The Bollywood Hollywood Dance Party encouraged the mingling of Indian, Nepali, and American students through games and dance. Once again, here's Ty Davidson.
Over the weekend, Troy's Nepali and Indian students came together with the American students for a sharing of cultures, thanks to the International Student Culture Organization and their Bollywood Hollywood Dance Party.
What we try and do is we try and get international students and domestic students into the same room so that there can be more like communication, interaction between the two groups.
The night held many events consisting of an outfit showcase and competition, dinner, a game of musical chairs, and an open dance floor playing music from the cultures of both Hollywood and Bollywood. ISCO's Nepali and Indian representatives explain more about what exactly Bollywood is.
Bollywood is one of the greatest cinema in India, and it is like deeply rooted in India. So most of the people of Nepal and India all are like watching Bollywood.
Every kind of movie in a Bollywood represent an Indian culture, just like a Hollywood represent a USA culture.
And though the event was full of games and dancing, to those in ISCO who set it up, there's a meaning to it much deeper than just throwing a party.
This sort of a like party or an event isn't something you normally get from like a college experience, and so I think it's important to do this to understand that, like, yes, there's differences between different groups of people and different cultures, but there's also a lot of similarities.
These events are important because the people who are from Hollywood, they don't know much about the Bollywood. So they can come explore the songs, have fun, and they can even understand about the Bollywood, what it is all about.
Overall, they believe the event was a success, and hope that in the future, events like these will grow much larger and create an even greater impact.
I think it should be done in the large scale. Like we have invited only few people here. So if it could be done in like mass scale, so it is known to everybody. So if the university like puts an effort and doing such events in a large scale, that will be great.
Coming up, we'll have a rundown of Trojan sports action from the diamond to the hard court, right after this.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The Trojan men's basketball team welcomed the Louisiana Raging Cajuns into Trojan Arena. Jack Sturdivant has the story.
Thursday night, Troy men's basketball played host to the Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns. The Trojans would lose 72-69.
I felt like we self-sabotaged our own success, going through the motions. That's not the way this game works. If you're not going to be tough and gritty, we're not going to be successful. We were a little bit too cool for school. We were winning in the first half, but you know, it catches up with you. We didn't have the grit and the look of determination that we had in the previous two games.
Despite the loss, Peyton Conaway was on fire with 16 points, 8 assists, and 13 rebounds.
He did some great things. Obviously, 13 rebounds, 7 offensive, 16 points, 8 assists. You know, those are all phenomenal numbers. You know, I wish he would have even been a little bit more aggressive driving the basketball. I thought there were times where maybe he could get in the paint and make a play.
The Trojans stay home Saturday when they welcome the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers to Trojan Arena.
It's very, very important. We got to find a way to bounce back. You know, I didn't see how they did today, but they gave James Madison everything they wanted the other night, which is a really good basketball team. And, they've got 7'1" guy. We better be ready to play.
Jack Sturdivant, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And Scott Cross got his wish. They bounced back against Coastal Carolina. Here's Jack Sturdivant once again.
Saturday afternoon, Troy men's basketball played host to the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. The Trojans showed up and showed out, beating the Roosters 83-66 on senior night. The Trojans struggled early and entered the half tied at 33 apiece. After the slow first half, guards Tate Conaway and Miles Rigsby, along with forward Thomas Dowd, surged in offense to give Troy some much-needed breathing room. Conaway's relentless work in the paint, alongside Dowd's expert marksmanship from three-point land, gave the Trojans the spark they needed to finish the game strong.
You know, the bottom line, the most important stat is, you know, do you have more points than they do at the end of the night? And I'm thankful to the good Lord that our guys we're a little bit tougher in the second half, and we were able to get it done.
After the big win, senior Tate Conaway expressed his love for the community and what the city meant to him during his college career.
Man, just the community at Troy. Like, I did JUCO for a few years, and I was never really far away from home. So coming out here is it's a 10 and a half hour trip from home. So, I mean, it's not like a drive home every day. But just the community, like, just bringing me in. I'll go to a restaurant down the street, and they'll just be the nicest person to me. Just not even just because I play basketball, just the people here are just nice.
Skylar Smith, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And after a big rivalry win on Saturday, Troy women's basketball welcomed the Texas State Bobcats in the Trojan Arena. Riley Williams has the story.
Wednesday night, Troy women's basketball welcomed the Texas State Bobcats into Trojan Arena. The Trojans would top the Bobcats 86-66 en route to Shanda Rigby's 250th career win.
It's kind of hard to believe. Of course, I'm really thankful for Troy for letting me hang around this long to be able to get 250. Thankful for all the great staffs I've had. Many times I've said it, many times I believe it wholeheartedly that I might have the best staff in the nation, and then also for the many great players we've had here at Troy.
Like Saturday's game against South Alabama, the Trojans started slow but would pull away in the second half.
We were out of sync at the beginning of the game, in both of those games it felt like, and we have to evaluate that. We had people come off the bench that turned the game for us. That's what you want to see at this time of year. No separation between your first and second string, or maybe the second string is now pushing your first string.
The Trojans welcome the Arkansas State Red Wolves to Trojan Arena Saturday for the final game of the regular season.
So Arkansas State, they live and die on the three-point line, and they hit 15 threes on us last time. They also press, and they're very active, and they cause a lot of turnovers for us. So tomorrow we have one day to prep. We will look at every three-pointer they scored on us and see how we can change that in the next game and then defend that better and get confidence that we can defend it better. And we also have a better plan of how to break their pressure. And we just have to play better.
Riley Williams, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A late home run helped the Trojan baseball team tame the Bulldogs Tuesday night in Starkville. Jack Sturdivant has the highlights from the top 25 baseball matchup.
Tuesday night, the number 20 ranked Troy Trojans headed to Duty Noble Field in Starkville, Mississippi to take on the number 15 ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Trojans would win 6-5.
It was just a total team effort. So many people had moments. You know, this interview is not long enough to go through all of them. Just an amazing college baseball game and really the cathedral in our sport.
The Trojans got up 5-0 early before the Bulldogs tied things up with a grand slam and a single run.
We never gave it up. Yeah. And to me, that's the part we didn't. It's just 0-0. Yeah. Right. But sometimes when you give up the lead, you get that feeling as if you are not in leverage, especially on the road, right? And we didn't do that.
With 2 outs in the top of the ninth, Stephen Meyer would hit what proved to be the deciding home run for the Trojans.
While it happened, I didn't have much in my mind besides 3 words, and that was "let's go." But I think all the preparation going into this game is what gives us that opportunity.
The Trojans face a quick turnaround as they look to defend Riddle Pace Wednesday against the UAB Blazers.
The coaches will be watching video on the way back to prepare ourselves. My hope is, you're playing at 4. It's going to be a beautiful day in Troy. You're playing a UAB team who is off to a great start and is going to be really good this year. So you better take the momentum and use that energy and that juice that happens when you get a road win like this.
Jack Sturdivant, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy wasted no time getting back on the diamond when they welcomed the UAB Blazers to Riddle Pace Wednesday night. Once again, here's Jack Sturdivant.
Wednesday night, the number 20 ranked Troy Trojans welcomed the UAB Blazers to Riddle Pace Field. The Trojans would slay the Blazers 7-4.
That's a tremendous win. I don't think we'll appreciate what a great win that is. For a while, coming off 9 hours in a bus and, emotional win, that's tough to do. So, our guys deserve all kinds of credit.
The Trojans had back-to-back big innings with 4 runs in the 3rd inning and 3 in the 4th.
If you're putting up, 2 innings of crooked numbers, you should have a chance to win every game, especially if we pitch the way that we feel we're capable of. Brooks had the big swing on that play. Ben with a great send, the birthday boy sending Blake on that play. That ball was thrown in the middle. I thought that was really pivotal. DK had a great at bat to get that little flare over shortstop. We had the bases loaded, walks where guys were just disciplined, staying with our plan.
The Trojans stay at home this weekend as they host the Penn Quakers in a weekend series.
And they got talented guys everywhere. They have talented guys on their roster. They got talented guys in professional baseball. I'd be lying. I don't know what time it is, 7:18. I haven't looked at one bit of Penn yet. But we will starting tomorrow morning. I'm sure they're going to have good velocity on the mound. They're going to be very athletic in the box.
Jack Sturdivant, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And that's all the time we have for Troy TrojanVision's The Week That Was. To see what's happening on a daily basis, tune in to Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday. You can also visit us anytime on our blog at today.troy.edu/TrojanVision. Until next time, have a good week.